What up, y'all? We just pulled up to the Cali Audio studio. You see Cali Audio? I'm excited to check it out. Let's go in. We actually right across the street from the Dolby lab. That's pretty dope. Yeah, man, it's crazy out here. LA got a little bit of everything you need, all in within an hour away from each other.
We're eventually going to have this be sort of a customer lobby, but for right now, we're using it as a photography studio. We just took everything in-house.
Okay.
Most of this isn't terribly interesting, but complicated.
Wow.
This is the other cool part, though, other than the Atmos room.
Okay.
This is our engineering lab.
Ah, very cool.
So this is where Charles and Val and Gus basically figure out how to make everything work.
Okay.
And you can see we've got transducer samples all over the place. We've got new products. We've frequently got competitive products in here, so we can analyze what our competitors are doing and make sure that what we're doing is better.
I haven't seen these.
This you will.
Nice.
You haven't seen that either. But
Oh, yeah.
you will.
Nice, nice.
Go ahead.
Exclusive. Yeah, I haven't seen these yet, man. This the behind the scenes Cali Audio look. You know, you saw it first. Desktop speakers. Mm-hmm.
And so what the monitor is sitting on is part of the unit. So that's where all the bass comes out. And then
Okay.
Yeah. And that can flip up on its side. So you can put your monitor in front of it, so it's less obtrusive. This is the same mid-range and high frequency from the IN5.
Wow. And then that's an interesting concept. So what does this does creating the low end? It's also the amp.
This is doing it's also the amp. It's everything up to 300 hertz.
Okay.
So it's not a subwoofer. It's more of a bass unit.
Oh yeah. Nice. I'm curious to hear how that sounds.
Yeah, you will.
All right. So we at the Cali Audio headquarters, and we're sitting down with Charles, and Charles is going to tell us the whole history of Cali Audio. I'm interested to know, how did Cali Audio come about?
Okay, so the founders of Cali, we were all working together at a major corporation.
Okay.
And designing loudspeakers, pro audio, and when you're designing for a corporation, there's a lot of constraints on what you can do.
Yeah.
We all wanted to be able to kind of take our work to the next level, to be more creative, to develop better product that we could only do if we did it ourselves. So we got together and we started Cali Audio back in 2018.
Okay. Awesome. Cool, man. And I know that a lot of your monitors, they come in at a very affordable price point. Was that like one of the driving forces of kind of creating it, Cali Audio, or does that just happen to be a...
Actually, that's really important.
Mm-hmm.
Where we were, getting that value engineering right was kind of critical to making product that were sellable, right? Because you're trying to get the most out of the least.
Yeah.
And so we called, that's value engineering. And how do we get that value in there? But now in our own company, we can kind of take that concept and take it to a level where what we're trying to do is deliver the maximum amount of value to the people that buy our products, right? To be able to do the most service to creative people that are making music.
What was like the process of going through and like designing a loudspeaker? How is that? Obviously, you were doing it before you started Cali Audio. Where'd you learn this process? I guess we can start there.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to work in an environment where I had a lot of mentors, a lot of people that were pretty big in loudspeaker design. Mm-hmm. Because of the environment constantly changing, I got to learn a lot of skills. I started working there as an intern and just learning acoustics. I got pulled into consumer products, designing passive loudspeakers. I got pulled into multimedia products and started to work on powered loudspeakers. I was voicing television sets for just all sorts of things that I was learning the acoustics of, and the lessons learned on all of these things kind of add up. And being a system engineer, you kind of have to put everything together. Yeah. It's not just a transducer, it's not just a crossover, it's not just an amplifier, it's not just a box, it's everything working together, which kind of goes back to value engineering. If we can do this right, we can look at the entire system. Give you an example. The transducer output is limited by how far the transducer can travel with a certain amount of distortion. And if you design the transducer to have a certain amount of excursion, you design the amplifier to provide exactly that much voltage that gets it to its maximum output. You design the port tube to handle exactly that much SPL before let's go. You design all these things together so that they all reach their maximum output at the same time, and then you set protective systems to keep it from bursting into flames or blowing up. Well, no, seriously, it's important. We power test our loudspeaker with music. What we do is we take music and we put it into the speaker at full unclipped input, as much as you can possibly put in without clipping the inputs. We turn the volume up to maximum and we power test it for 100 hours. So you're not going to be able to blow it up.
Well,
no,
you
can't.
No matter what.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. That's super cool. So there's a lot of excitement in the industry now about Dolby Atmos mixing and immersive audio. Where does Cali Audio fit into that?
And together, the absorption in this room brings the reverberation time into right in the middle of the range of 250 milliseconds to 500 milliseconds of reverberation time. So it's just about right. We do not advise people to use large, non-selective or broadband bass traps. The reason why we don't advise that is because they don't fix bass problems. All they do is pull everything down. So rather than pulling down peaks with EQ, you're trying to fill in gaps and taking directly away from the dynamic range of the loudspeaker. So, let the room be a little bit live. Use absorption sparingly where you need to use it. And this room has just about the right amount of reverberation. Not only is it the right amount, but it's also frequency neutral. So the reverberation time is neutral with respect to frequency. On the side, we have skyline panels, and that takes the first lateral reflection, first lateral specular reflection from the mains, and it breaks it up in the time domain so that when it sums across the listening area, it doesn't have combing artifacts. It sums in quadrature. Well, we're really fortunate. One of the things that's very, very important to us is providing a neutral reference so that people can do their work. Our loudspeakers, are not hi-fi speakers. They're not designed to sound pretty. They are designed to provide a neutral reference for somebody that's making content, so they can make decisions and know what's in their mix before they send it out. So every product that we have is centered on that. Our products are such that, and especially our independence product with the coincident transducers, where it's really literally a point source, really lends itself to Atmos because it images so well. Yeah. And because it's at the price point that it's at and performs like it does, it's become very, very popular by a lot of people who don't want to be spending a lot of money on this new format, and it lowers that barrier to entry, and I think that's great because it means that more people can mix in Atmos.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And the more people mixing in Atmos, the better Atmos mixes will get ultimately.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
And the goal for us, our finish line isn't necessarily. It's nice to hear people say, "Wow, your speakers sound great." Then whatever they want to talk about, that's great. But that's not really our end goal. Okay. Our end goal, what we really like to hear the most, is when somebody tells us, "Hey, I've been working with these speakers for 3 months, and the amount of notes that I'm getting back are half of what I used to do. I'm able to get my work done one time and send it out, and it doesn't come back." Because, when people mix, they mix on their monitors, they go out and they check it in the car, they check it on a portable, they do all sorts of things because they're concerned of how that's going to translate.
Right.
Okay, but if we're doing what we're supposed to be doing,
right,
they should be able to get the confidence from their monitors. They don't necessarily need to go check it in their car. They don't need to check it in the portable. If they can be sending their mix out and having it go out and be good, then they don't need to do that. And what happens is they develop confidence. If we can get creative people to stop thinking about what the monitors are doing,
Right.
okay, it's going to enable them to be more creative.
Right. Focus on the art.
If they can focus on the art, if we can be of service to creative people and allow them to focus on the art, then we've really done something.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's the goal. That's the end goal.
I love that.
Yeah, for sure. That's a perfect objective for sure. Yeah, man, I love the mission here at Cali Audio. It seems like y'all knocking it out the park.
Yeah, well, we're trying. I got to tell you, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
What's wonderful is to be able to hear mixes that were done on the Calis, to hear things that I remember from when I was in high school that have been now remixed into Atmos on Cali systems.
Yeah. And
hear those things, good sounding mixes. Yeah, there's a bit of a kind of that sense of accomplishment that we're doing the right thing.